What is it? It's Christmas Eve. So Dad's cooking. It's what he does. Dad found a fantastic deal on a boneless prime rib roast over at the local Sam's Club. So that's dinner tonight. Tomorrow is the big, huge shindig here at the Dad household. I think we have like 35 people coming, maybe more. Who knows? It's gonna be ridiculous. Tonight, small little family thing for Christmas Eve. Nice little rib roast, some chicken for the people who aren't too big of fans of the rib roast. And we celebrate Christmas Eve. What's Dad got going today? Prime rib roast.
Who got this? Dad got this.
This here is a boneless prime rib roast. They call it a ribeye roast. It's basically prime rib without the bone. So this is about 4 pounds. Be plenty for the people who love to eat prime rib here. I'm doing it medium rare. So we're gonna sous vide this for about 3 to 4 hours, depending on how much time I have before dinner, at 131. We're gonna do it a little bit lower temp. That's gonna give me a little bit more room to stick it in the oven, as hot as I can get the oven to go, to do the herb crust on it when everything's all said and done. Prepping this is super simple. Let's get to it. Let's get a good look at this roast. See all that? That's marbling. That's what you want. That's what's gonna give you a tender and juicy roast. This one was the best marbled one I could find there, so that's what we went with. These are real simple for sous vide. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, pop it in the bag. Butter in the bag does nothing. We're gonna use our butter and put it on the top when we do our herb crust. And that's where we're gonna get fantastic flavor. So this comes really nicely trussed. Everything's good to go. All we need to do is season it up and get it bagged. Real simple. While we're getting ready to bag it, we're gonna go ahead and start filling up our water container. This is a sous vide cooking, so you need a water bath. Nice big container is always easier for me. I put my racks on the bottom. That's gonna let water flow all the way around. Let's get a bag. Go ahead and seal this bag since these are not the pre-cuts. I like to take the bag and do a fold. That's gonna help me keep getting stuff on the part where the seal needs to be. Make sure you get a good seal when you do go to seal it. So that bag is prepped and ready. You want to use a coarse salt, like a sea salt. You don't want to use fine table salt. And you can be liberal with this. I mean, you can go heavy. In the bag, it's gonna all mix in and it's gonna wash off a lot when we get ready to do our final roast. Cracked black pepper. I like a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. I think it adds a nice extra flavor to everything. As you can see, it's nicely seasoned all the way around. We're gonna go ahead and put that in the bag. This part's real simple. Bag. Roast. And see all that stuff they got on the inside of the bag? That's why I flipped the bag. I can go like that. Now, maybe my bag's too big, but that's fine. Okay, we filled our container with water. Now it's time to hook up the immersion circulator. We're gonna throw it here right on the end. This will help get it up to temp a little bit faster. There we go. It's gonna take a little bit of time for this to get up to temp. So until it does, we just wait. While we're waiting for the sous vide water bath to come up to temp, we're gonna go ahead and make some herb butter. Because we're gonna put the herb butter on there when we do the crust in the oven. It's real simple. You need 2 sticks of unsalted butter. It's probably gonna make a lot, but I'd rather have more than need more. Does that make sense? Have more than need more. I'd rather have extra than need to make more. How about that? 2 sticks. We're just gonna go ahead and soften these in the microwave probably, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. All right, our butter's out of the microwave. It's not melted, but it's soft. Let's check the consistency. Yeah, we just want it mashable. That's perfect. And we're gonna keep this real simple. The same spices that we used to season the roast, we're gonna season the butter. Tablespoon of garlic powder. Tablespoon of onion powder. That's what that one was. Now the garlic powder. Tablespoon of garlic powder. And now I've got oregano and basil in the house. You can use whatever dried herbs you have. Tablespoon of oregano. And a tablespoon of basil. And we just kind of mash and mix. And it's going to be a couple hours before the roast is ready to go in the oven. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in the fridge and then take it out probably an hour before to get it to go to room temp to be able to spread on the roast. As you notice, I didn't put any salt in there. The reason I didn't put any salt in there is because we've got a lot of salt on the roast in the sous vide bag. I don't want to over salt. You can always salt your meat at the end, even when you cut it, and you're still gonna get great flavor, but you can't take salt away. So I'm always a little bit conservative with my salt. I'll salt the bag, I won't salt other stuff, and then I'll do a taste and see if I need more salt. So that's a nice looking mix. We're gonna rub this on the roast, put it in the screaming hot oven, and we'll get a nice little crust out of it. In the fridge. Check out that hunk of meat. This is gonna be fantastic. If you love prime rib or you love rib roasts, you have to try it sous vide. The benefit of sous vide is you cannot screw it up. You cook it to the temp you want, and that's it. The rest is just crusting it. That's why I'm cooking it. Usually I cook my stuff to about 134 for perfect medium rare. But I'm going 131, which is gonna leave me a couple of degrees because this needs to actually stay in the oven a little bit longer than you normally would for just the quick sear method for sous vide. So we're gonna put this in like a 500 degree oven and let it roast until we get a crust. Could be a couple minutes, 5 or so. So that's gonna start cooking this meat a little bit more. So that's why we're gonna go under, so that way when we reach the final temperature after it's done in the oven, we're still medium rare. That's how you do it with sous vide. It's time to eat yet. I'm hungry. This looks so good. That marbling in here was fantastic. For the grade of beef that this is, I'm so excited that had that marbling. Because of the fact that this wasn't planned, I may not have exactly as much cooking time as I would have liked for this. It's still gonna come out awesome. Normally, I'd probably want to go 4 or 5 hours. By the time this water comes up to temp, I'll probably be able to get 3.5 hours in the water bath and then get it in the oven to get a 6 o'clock dinner. It'll still be fantastic. It just won't be as perfect as I want it. So I'll check the results and see what it comes out at after I cook it. I'll let you guys know at the end of the video and give you a recommendation for how long I think you should do if you have this size roast. Okay. Dad's a little impatient. I want to get this going. We're at 130. Close enough. So we're going to take this off. We probably won't have to cook with it on because this is not a long cook and we're not going to have a ton of evaporation. So in we go. Make sure that everything is covered. Looks like I have enough water in there to cover everything. We are getting a little bit of a float. So to handle the float, Dad has his. Yeah. So I have this little expandable thing, and it's awesome because you can go ahead and take it and expand it and get it around the meat and just kind of get it to sit on top. And that's gonna keep that sucker from floating, and I'm not putting too much stuff on top of it to mess with the water circulation. 4 hours. See you in 4 hours. All right, everybody, it's just about game time. Time to get the roast out of the sous vide bath. It's been right at 4 hours. We're just gonna open this up. And the same rules as always apply with sous vide. We gotta dry it. Because if you don't dry it, you're not gonna get a nice crust or a good sear. And to dry it, just paper towels. So you set your oven to broil, let that get warmed up, and we're gonna go ahead and slather this with the butter. Place it on a rack, wire rack with some space underneath to allow airflow. Everything roasts better usually that way. And we have our herb butter that we made earlier. All over the roast. That is now ready to go in the oven. Broil, 525, whatever your oven does. 10 or so minutes. It could be 5, it could be 20. You're just waiting and taking it out when it's crusted, when you got a nice brown effect on it.
Minutes? Daddy?
What?
I just read this all on my own.
Wow, such a good job. It's been in the oven for about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and pull it. It looked like it had a decent crust. This part, completely optional. We've got a nice crust on the top. The sides didn't really get anything. That's because that's where the heat isn't. So we're gonna go ahead and torch the sides a little bit. Without setting off the fire alarms. Done. Since we sous vide cooked this, you don't really need to let it rest. So the only resting time is gonna have when I gather all my stuff and take some photos. Let's give it a slice.
So thoughts after the cook. I probably would have liked to have been able to go 5 or 6 hours. It would have gotten a little bit more tender, but this was awesome. It was tender, it was juicy, it was delicious. I just think it could have taken a little bit more time to be absolutely perfect. I also might have gone a little bit longer in the oven with the crusting to get a little bit more on there. But we were hungry.
For more recipes and videos, visit dadgotthis.com. To be sure you don't miss anything, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the damn bell. I double dog dare you. Come on, you have to do it. It was a double dog dare. I mean, those are the rules.